am continuing our series on gaining clarity when it comes to your finances. And I want to talk to you about, again, about how lack and a lack mentality actually impacts so many opportunities. And we have so many missed opportunities actually when we are approaching life with a lack mentality. Now, I'm going to first say that there's this thing that, and I talked about this before in terms of how we grew up and how our upbringing plays a big part in how we perceive things, especially from a financial perspective. So if you grew up in a household where money was a little tight, and when it was time to go to the store, they were telling you don't ask for nothing, right? Those are the instructions you get when it's before you go in the store. Those impact you and they carry with you for a much longer time than many of us realize. But those impact children. And when we have that type of mentality, it prevents us because we've been conditioned to say, hey, don't ask for anything. Money tight, don't ask for anything. So we don't ask. So here's an example of how this showed up this week. I have a niece. She is 9 years old. She is my only, blood niece, but I have some, extended nieces and nephews. But this is my girl, right? My niecey poo. And she ran her first 5K. And I got my microphone way over here. Anyways, she ran her first 5K on Sunday with Girls on the Run. And we get there, we're excited to support her. And we show up, and as they're going through and getting everything started, they talk about they were raising money and had a fundraiser, and the young ladies and the girls who were able to raise like $100, they were able to get this cool pink superhero type cape. And I was like, oh, that was pretty neat. And of course, my niece did not get a cape. And she, didn't even tell us. She didn't tell us that she had a fundraiser going on. Now, this is my brother's daughter, so he does not have primary custody. He has shared custody with her, so we see her every other weekend. My brother actually lives out of state, so we see her every other weekend as if he lives in state. Like, that's his custodial setup. This is what we maintain regardless of whether or not he physically lives in the state or not. And so we see her every other weekend. She has a cell phone. We talk, FaceTime, everything. She doesn't tell us she has a fundraiser going on. And so she didn't ask. So she didn't raise the money to, be able to contribute. And my mom is like, well, why you didn't ask us? And we're sitting there thinking, my mom is like, I would have just given her the $100. And I'm thinking to myself, I would have just given her the $100. And then I'm thinking, well, between church and the neighbors and everybody else that we know, she could have raised $100. So there was the opportunity for her to raise the money to participate in the fundraising and to actually, qualify for one of the cool capes. And you're not to say it's for the cool capes, but we understand, some of that stuff, having some of those little trinkets mean something. But my niece didn't even bother to ask us for it. And that to me bothered me more than anything else. And while I understand that her family dynamic and the situation can be very different where she is, most of the time, I really do try to work with her so that she understands that we don't think from a lack mentality. But I have seen it show up from time to time with her, where she wants to go on a shopping spree at Dollar Tree, which is now $1.25. She wants to go on a shopping spree at Dollar Tree. And certain things she's just thinking about being conscious, cost conscious at an early age. And like I said, that carries on long after you've had those types of experiences. And so we miss out on those opportunities because we don't ask, because that lack mentality has been sown, and it says, hey, don't ask, because you're being told, and it's suggested that you're not going to get it. And the other thing that this does is when you get older, it shows up in being a penny pincher sometimes in some ways, right? I can I can go down a list of different things that I have done that are really from that mentality, from squeezing a tube of toothpaste, till you get every single drop out of it, to using a bar of soap until it's paper thin, to banging on the ketchup bottle on the counter trying to get every drop out of there. And don't talk about putting a little water in there and shaking that sucker up, just trying to make sure you get every bit of residue out of the container. All of those things are rooted in a lack mentality. And the reasons why we think that way and why it has transferred over to these other areas of our lives is because we have this thought that we don't know when we're going to be able to replace it. We don't know when we're going to be able to get another one, or we don't know, that we're thinking about, we don't know where the money's going to come from to pay to replace it. And when you're thinking that way, you're thinking of holding on to everything you have because you can't let it go, because you just never know. You may not have the money to replace it. You may not have the money to get whatever you need. And I find it interesting that, especially if you grew up in a Christian household, how we were told, don't ask for nothing going into the store. You get conditioned, don't ask for anything, get conditioned with the lack mindset. But the Bible says, ask and it shall be given. It says it over and over and over. Ask, ask, ask. And what do? Everything except ask. We will assume a no before we ask. And we miss out on opportunities and blessings by doing so. I can tell you, and I told this story already about my LA Gear British Knight story. I didn't ask for what I wanted. That lack mentality was in me, and I didn't ask for what I wanted. And I didn't get it. And then at the end of the day, they were the same price. So I really talked myself out of an opportunity that I could have had. I was talking to someone today. I'm not going to put all the business out on Front Street, but there was a situation where they were like, I didn't ask this person to the prom. Why? Because I didn't think that, this person, would be into me, because this was the hottest person in school. So I didn't ask. And I went with somebody else who wasn't all that hot, but I figured they were would say yes. And you get to the prom and the person that you really wanted to ask is there alone. So you missed out on an opportunity because you didn't ask. And you have not because you ask not. So you have to condition yourself to think about what you want first and foremost, but be comfortable and confident in asking for what you want. If you don't take the time and you don't have the courage to ask for what you want in life, you are going to miss out on blessing after blessing after blessing. And we've been conditioned, unfortunately. I'm afraid I found some paper to tear up. We've been conditioned, unfortunately, from childhood to not ask. Because we want certain toys, we want certain experiences, and they may be outside of our parents' budget. But we haven't been retrained to think about things biblically, if you're a Christian, or just to think about things from abundance. Like, really, there's no reason for us to go through life thinking that we can't have what it is we want. Because there are, it's like the Bible says, if the birds and animals and those things don't have to worry about where to eat, what to eat, and where to sleep, why is it that we worry? Why are we so concerned that we can't ask for what it is that we want in life? Why is it that we have to go through life thinking that I can't have, this is not going to work, I don't have enough? So I really want to challenge you to start taking inventory of what it is you want and having the confidence and having the courage to ask for it. Because there's somebody out there who has the ability to give it to you. So if you are raising money, there's a donor out there who has the funds to take care of whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. If you are looking for a certain type of job, there's somebody out there who's willing to pay a salary that you want for you to do whatever it is you want to do. If you are a business owner and you're looking for a person or a customer, there's somebody out there to buy your stuff. I mean, have you seen these little pocket, little pimple things that the little kids like? Like, who invented this crap? I'm like, I don't even see the purpose of it. People invent fidget spinners, but somebody's buying it. It doesn't make any sense to me, but somebody's buying it. If you need a client, there is somebody out there who is willing to pay you for your services. Have you seen some of these people post these hair pictures and their hair just don't be quite right? Somebody paid for that hairdo. Now, granted, they might not be satisfied, but that person, even that person who was offering lackluster service, was able to attract a client. So if you are providing quality service, you can also get a client. So you have to be comfortable asking for what it is you want and believing that you have received it and putting the necessary action behind it to demonstrate your faith. So that's all I wanted to jump on and talk to you guys about tonight. Tomorrow we are going to conclude this series and talk about how we can start making the shift from having this lack mindset to having an abundance mindset. So I thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much.